welcome to fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret Carlton. I will be your broadcast engineer for today. Anyway, Christian's been here for a very long time. He's a wonderful presenter. We love having him on the show. He's usually quite busy doing senior engineer stuff. So if you have questions, if Christian can't answer it, he'll tell you. Like he's not, we're not going to sit here and waffle and you go like, oh, Christian's fantastic. So we're happy to have him on today. I have one more I'm going to toss at you, and then you are free to go and to be free from having light mode enabled on your computer at a crappy screen resolution.
No worries.
I have a calc field where the whole expression is a call to a single custom function. When I modify the function, FileMaker does not automatically recalculate the fields. I have to manually edit the calc value and then manually re-edit to go back to the real value. Is there any way to configure FileMaker to do this automatically?
Yeah, so I want to I think I understand exactly what they're saying, and I've run into a couple issues related to this. So let's open manage database. And I think what the person is saying is that they have a field in here that's, well, we'll just make a calculation field. Oops. And it sounds like this is calling their custom function. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to, oh, no, paste those in there. I must hit cancel. So let's do this. Oh, let's still do it in here. That's fine. Get file extension. And then I don't think I have the container in this table, but it'd be something like your calculation is just pointing to a custom function. The problem is that it's not updating when you want it to. So in order for a calculation, or what you might have saw me start to do initially there, is do a text field. And then I'll do a self-calculation here, or whatever the calculation might be. So file extension. Let's do this, actually. Sorry. Let's make a real one. File extension. And we can make that a calc. So we're going to change that. And we're going to do file extension. And we're going to do the container. Okay. Make this text. So first, I'm going to go to one that should work. Okay. And we're going to add that field on screen here. And we'll do a new record, and we'll go find another baby picture. So we put this on here, and this situation should work. And the reason that that's working is the way that our calculations, whether they're calculations or self-calculations, work is when something in here changes, they trigger. And so if nothing is changing, nothing will update it. And I think that that's the problem the person's describing. And so here is something that I also stole from Nick that I have found to be useful in a variety of ways. I'll make a field called trigger. Okay. And then we'll go over to file extension. Okay, that is the exact problem. So I'll make a let statement. Now, I don't know what your level of experience is. I think that let statements, let's not do that. That's probably going to be too scary. Let statements are really overwhelming for a lot of new people. It is my favorite function, hands down. It's like writing a script in the calculation engine, but perfect. You like let. So we're going to do a let field here. And what we're going to do, actually, I'll go ahead then and I'll use my shortcut. But we can ignore most of what's on here. Okay. And up here, I'm just going to call this trigger, and I'm going to add that trigger field. Okay. It's not used for the calculation. It's just used to trigger the calculation. And then result, which is what I want this to be. Do I have 2 equals there? Yeah. Let's see if I fix that one more left. So now when you need this to update, because in your case, there probably isn't like a container field that you're dropping something in, so it's not updating. What you need to do is figure out when that thing needs to update and set trigger to 1. So I'll show you this. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to add trigger over here. Okay, we're going to go to browse. We're going to delete this. Oops. Perfect. And I'm going to put a 1 in here, and it triggers it. So if you know when it is that this should be updating, That's all you do. You go run one. Now, what's really cool about this is maybe you're like, well, I have a whole bunch of records I need to run it on. Then what you do is you write a script update. You go to the layout, ideally developer layout. I don't have any in here right now. You do some sort of find or show all records. Just be careful to show all records, how many are in there, but this runs pretty darn fast. And then you do replace field contents, trigger with a 1. And now, like, let's see, I think we actually have a handful of images in here. So let's do this. We're going to delete all of them. Perfect. And then let's go run this. And now they've all been updated to that HEIC. So hopefully that's helpful to what you have on there. There's another trick. Just one last thing. I know we're near the end here. Is maybe you go, well, Kristian, I don't know when I could set trigger. I do know that if the record gets modified, I want this to update. So usually we have some sort of like modification timestamp or time modification, or so then you could go in here and instead of the trigger being the trigger field, it can be modification timestamp. Timestamp mod. There we go. So now this will be harder for me to. I'm going to change this to wipe the field out. So we're going to go here to file extension and set it to nothing. Okay. That's not going to let me wipe it out, I don't think. Yeah, the problem is as soon as we wipe it out, it's triggering itself. So let's do this. Let's just turn the calc off for a moment. Let's wipe them out. Perfect. Go back here, file extension, turn this back on. Okay. So I don't have another field in here. Let's just add one real quick. File name, create. So now we're going to add that. Okay. Just to show you, I could have just done the trigger one, but I want to show you that it's not that field. So now I come over here and now it updates. So those are two different ways to kind of accomplish the same thing. But it is really important. And when I was new, I would set some sort of field on like a due date that was like, hey, if it's this many days in the future, show a color. And the moment you create that field, it works. But then tomorrow it's broken. And so you need something to trigger that update to take place.
Cora, I've never seen anyone solve problems so fast. Yes. The wonders of senior engineers, honestly.
Yeah, practice.
Seriously. And Kristian is fabulous and a great presenter. So, with that being said, I'm going to free you now. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kristian, for presenting. And thank you all for your questions. I will see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.